PK, 4 in a row, mate. Pretty happy with that one?
Yeah, you can't complain when you win by 8 goals against a good team.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a funny sort of game at times, and things didn't click as well as we like them to. But that's footy, isn't it? You can't always play perfect games. It's an unpredictable sport. But the way we ground that game out over 4 quarters was really pleasing, and that's been one of our big focuses over the last sort of 6 weeks. And it's 3 games in a row now where we've been able to do that. So that is pleasing. The boys were pretty spent by the end of the game. It's been a big 6-week block, and it was great to see them finish off strong into the bye.
Yeah, I thought earlier it was a pretty tight contest, and then probably in the middle part of the game, the second and third quarter, you guys kind of broke away and got scoreboard pressure on, which kind of rallied you guys in the game. Yeah,
it was pleasing in that we sort of, we said to them at quarter time and again at half time, like, we just got to have that level of urgency and desperation. Really put it to them and see if they can respond. And the first probably 20 minutes of the second quarter, and again first 20 minutes of the third quarter, that was our best footy of the day. And it's no secret that when we're a good pressure team, we're a good team. And so that was pleasing. And then again in the last quarter, just to win that last quarter was really good, into a little bit of a breeze, and in some slippery conditions. Was just pleased with the discipline to execute the way we wanted to in that last quarter, and made sure we closed the game out.
Yeah, held on to 7 goals. No doubt you'd be pretty happy with the back six as a collective.
Yeah, but the whole team as a collective, defence now isn't just about the back 6 or 7. It's a full ground thing, and the way I think when they're up and going, Launceston move the ball as well as anybody. And they can mix things up around the way they generate their spare man. So it does present a challenge in that way. And I just thought our guys were really switched on for the most part of that game to nullifying their ball movement. And as an overall team defensive display, it was good. And the back 6 or the back 7, performed well. Particularly, Harrison Gunther is probably the best game I've seen him play.
Yep.
He's played some good ones, and and then Daniel Joseph and Josh Arnold as well. They lead that sort of younger core down there really well. Pleased. It was another good win, and we put ourselves in a position going into these last 6 games where that things are on our terms. I guess we don't have to sit and wait for other results. We can. It all comes down to how we play our football, and hopefully we keep taking some steps forward.
Yep, I thought Jay Bowden got himself into the game in that second quarter, and then I think he's kicked 23 goals in the last 6 games since the bye. Probably no secret that when Jay's up and firing, you guys are a good too.
Yeah, and most of those have been the last 4 games.
Yeah.
And I mean, we went through a period where we were trialling a few different things, and he spent a bit of time in different positions, and the guys we had further up the ground, we mixed up a bit, and sometimes that messes with your rhythm. But these last 4 weeks, he's really started to understand the role we want him to play, and we've given him time to settle in that role, and he's doing it really well, as you'd expect. Like, he's such a good player. I thought he came into it in the second quarter, but also the work of the players up the field in terms of forcing turnovers and getting our forward entries the way we want them to be was really good. And then you get Jay's willingness to work up the ground as well to help them. So everything in footy runs together. It's not separated anymore into attack, defence, midfield, whatever. All parts of the way you play have to work well together, and we're getting there.
No doubt his experience helps guys like Mitch Walker and Matthew Joseph and Harry Parker up the forward line also. Yeah,
it does, and it's an interesting situation we're in that we've got a small number of those really experienced guys still here, and you saw Daniel Joseph and Josh Arnold down back. Reece Mott in the middle, and hopefully we'll get Braden Webb back for the next game in the middle as well, and then Jay up forward. And then we've been asking over the last month in particular, players like James Webb and Matty Joseph and Ben Camerick and Mitch Rainbird and Cam Duffy to step up, and it's kind of the wheel spins pretty quickly in state league footy these days. Like a couple of years ago, they were the young promising players in the premiership team. Now we're saying you've got to be the leaders. It goes quick in that, and it was a realisation for those guys. It's the time for me to step up. Those were the guys that Aaron gave opportunities to and invested in. And now they're sort of repaying the club with the way they're playing. And then we have this big group of younger guys under them who are starting to step up. And Harrison Gunther, Jack Stevenson wasn't there today, but he's one of those. Ryan Banks-Smith, Adam Roberts, like a lot of those guys are doing jobs for us. And so it's a good time. I enjoy coaching the group, but they have high expectations like I do. So we're not happy with where we're at now. We know there's some really good teams in this comp, but we think that when we're playing our best footy and we're switched on, that we're one of those.
Yeah, another young guy, Mitch Rainbird, played his 100th today. Pretty big achievement at a guy at such a young age, and I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, he's only 21, and I've been happy with how coachable he's been this year, and he's someone, a player, like you come into the club and you sort of, this is what Mitch does. He's good at these things, and that's what he'll give you. And, some players get stuck in that mould of what they do. But Mitch has been willing to learn and change his game a little bit for the betterment of the team. And he'll tell you that's still a work in progress, but it's a good one. And he's playing some good footy, and absolutely to hit 100 games at 21 years of age is, that shows the quality of player he is.
Yep. Anyone else in particular stand out today?
I've mentioned the whole team, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it was a good moment afterwards. It was the Bierman brothers. It was their first win together in senior footy. And I thought Jake's pressure was really good for us today. Jai, we're a bit disappointed with his first half. We just didn't think he'd come to play. But in the second half was good. Really gave us some link through the middle of the ground and used the ball well. They're another two exciting young players. But we need guys like that to improve if we want to get to where we want to get to. And Joel Millhouse was another young fella who just had another really solid game today, so that was good to see. So that must be the whole team by now, I think. Reece Mott, has, after his suspension, he probably had a bit of down form, but it's been good to see him bounce back and play some really good footy. And one I have forgotten is Josh Grant, really good game on Mitch Thorpe. And so I don't want to sound too effusive in the praise, because we want to really understand that that's a bit of a base level today, the way we played. We can't drop away from that. We have to be better than that. We've got Lauderdale at Lauderdale and then North Launceston here, so those two games will really be another good test to see where we're at.
Yeah, obviously pretty pleasing come this point of the season. I think we've got 6 rounds to go, that the team's really starting to gel as a collective, and they're working well across the ground. Yeah,
they're a good group.
Yeah.
I like this group. We identified some stuff with them, as I've spoken about a lot, just about being that hardened footy team and mentally tough. And they've responded quickly, and it's pleasing. But, the mental toughness test happens repeatedly, quarter after quarter, game after game, so we can't start thinking we've made it. That's the challenge for us. Our best footy is really good. How consistently can we produce that level?
Yep. Obviously the bye this week coming up, obviously this top point of the season, that's mostly just going to be a recovery week for the guys. Yeah. They've worked hard through this block, and for a couple of reasons we upped the training a little bit with them. We wanted to just instill that idea of working through tough moments, working through a little bit of fatigue, and they responded well to that. So they got through today, and the bodies are sore, so this week will be light. And we'll just give them a chance to relax a little bit mentally as well, because, as I said on Thursday, there aren't many free swings in this competition. You took the bottom 2 teams out from last year, so it leaves a lot of tough games. You're rolling around to good teams constantly, and so it's enjoyable, and look forward to getting out to Lauderdale in a couple of weeks. Yep. You mentioned Braden Webb. Obviously he didn't play today, but can we expect him to be a walk-up when you face Lauderdale? I hope so. Yep. Yeah, we would imagine so. His progress has been going good, hence why we named him this week. We just thought he was a slight outside chance, so we wanted to have him on the team list just in case on Thursday he went all right. But at the same time, as I've said, we were never going to play him unless he's right, because we don't want to risk re-injury. So he's a nice little bonus to come back into the team, and hopefully Zach Webster will be back in the next couple of games as well. And we'll see that there's some players potentially to come back in, but also, as I've said all year, we don't talk about them too much, because the guys out there playing at the moment are doing a good job, and we keep investing our faith in them while they do that. Yep. Looked like you had a clean bill of health out of the day. No injuries.
Just corkies and knocks and that sort of stuff. But yeah, as I always say, like you got to wait till during the week because sometimes something that happens during the game, players don't feel it with the adrenaline going. But touch wood, it was a good result.
Darrin, mate, obviously disappointing to not get the win.
Look, yeah, certainly disappointing, but probably pleased with the effort with the guys, sort of across the game. At times we felt like we were certainly in the contest, but yeah, look, probably some skill execution cost us in the end.
I thought particularly early and then again late, you probably controlled the game. It was just probably that entry inside 50 that probably let you down a bit.
Yeah, first quarter very positive. Probably second quarter probably felt as though first part of the quarter they had momentum. We wrestled it back. Third quarter certainly the element sort of probably didn't work in our favour, and they certainly controlled the game through that third quarter.
Yep, that's 4 in a row now, mate. Obviously, you talk about the effort was up again this week, but do you put that down to anything structurally, or is it just confidence?
I don't think it's anything sort of confidence. It's probably some things that we just need to work on, get better as a club and as a team. Certainly put together better patches of football today than probably what we have over the previous couple of weeks.
Yep. What was the message from Sam post-match?
Look, very positive. Just sort of working on some of the skill elements. We just need to get back to training and do a lot of work on that.
Yep. I thought probably a couple of guys probably had a really good game. I thought Vandervelde was probably, with the amount of ball that was coming back there, I thought he was pretty strong all day.
Started really well.
Yeah,
started really well. We sort of, with Big Simon, we give him a big target every week sort of thing to play on, so and certainly started the game in a positive fashion.
Yeah, I think he's just a guy that probably goes out there and gives 110%. You guys can just count on him to always attack the footy, know when it's coming.
He certainly does. He knows what he has to do week in, week out, and executes it very well.
Yeah, was there anyone else that stood out to you guys?
Sam Rundle, I thought was really good across 4 quarters. Certainly contributed all through the game. I thought Hamish Leadham was good as well through the middle of the ground. They were probably 2 of our prime movers, I think, through the middle there. So, yeah.
Yep. Obviously, you've had a lot of road trips. I think it's about 5 road trips in 7 weeks.
Yeah,
we had one at Windsor and then in the bye. Obviously, it's maybe taking a toll on the boys.
Look, it's the nature of the TSL football. We know we're going to be on the road, so I suppose we've got a couple of home games, or we've got a game in Launceston next week against North, and then a home game. So probably good to get some of those road trips out of the way.
Yep. So you got a pretty short break. You match up against North Lonnie on Friday.
Friday night game. So probably just modify our training program through the week and prepare ourselves for Friday night.
Yeah. So probably more recovery this week than anything else.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Probably main session maybe earlier in the week. We'll have a look and just sort of see how that works.
Yep. Any injuries out of that?
No. I think got through the game fairly injury free.